back to the show. It is time for the Bud List. And before we get to it, I need to do a little bit of housekeeping.
Wow.
We get a lot of letters on the show, an odd amount of letters for the year 2022.
One in your hand right
yes,
now?
this is one in my hand. So I just want to I thought it would be a good to read it on air,
please.
to say we do get your letters, and we are willing to address them.
Okay.
The letter is from concerned viewer. Dear Wildes, love the show. Can you please set the record straight? Is the Bud List an indictment or an inspiration? I don't know how many times we have to go over this.
Thank you, Wildes. I'll answer that. It is an inspiration.
How many times
Every name on this list I'm pulling for. And that goes all the way back to Nick's boy Trey Lance. I was pulling for Trey.
That's true.
I am heartbroken about his injury. So thank you, Wildes.
Okay.
This is about inspiration, folks.
I'm glad that got cleared up.
Yes, let's get it going.
Yes.
All right, at number 3, inspiration, Brandon Staley out in Los Angeles with Wild's favorite quarterback all of a sudden, Justin Herbert. All right, the Chargers, now they're facing the Houston Texans this week. One of 2 winless teams left in the NFL. And I do believe in that building, head coach Brandon Staley has support. I don't think he's on a hot seat in the building. But outside of the building, a lot of people looking at all those questionable fourth downs they went for last year, didn't make the playoffs. The defense, which was supposed to be a specialty, got worse. And now, last week, everybody's wondering, why are you leaving your quarterback with broken ribs in the game when you're down 28 with a few minutes left? So outside of the building, I think the seat's getting hot for Staley. If they lose this, they're 1-3 in a tough division. And Justin Herbert, look, I get it. He's playing with broken ribs. I admire the toughness. But as coach kind of implied, look, everybody's crowned him. At some point, you got to start winning. And if you step on the field, injured or not, we're going to hold you accountable. At number 2, I hate to do it, but yeah, that's him.
Oh, yeah.
Jameis Winston.
Thank
Guys, what a difference a year makes.
He was
A year ago, smart football people were saying he was a dark horse MVP. 5-2.
Saying that,
They were 5-2. He was playing smart, and now he looks like he's back in Bruce Arians' offense. Interception was he got 5 in 3 games.
Jameis is Jameis.
Look, Greg Jennings picked them to get to the Super Bowl this year. I picked them to win the division. A lot of people, trust me, like New Orleans, and now they're looking like they're going to be fighting for a first top pick in the draft. So, look, if Jameis doesn't win this year with all the weapons he's got, I get it, Michael Thomas, a couple guys banged up, Jarvis Landry, but he's still got a lot of weapons. If he doesn't win this year, this could be his last year as a starter.
Oh, wow.
So he's
put it on the ticker.
So it's motivation, Jameis, motivation.
Right.
All right, I still believe you. And at number 1, let's go to Vegas. Josh McDaniels and Davante Adams. All right, Josh McDaniels, guys, look, at least Houston's got a tie. The Raiders got the worst record in the league. And Josh McDaniels, we all know he's a great offensive coordinator. But his head coaching career in Denver wasn't good. 11-20, another Spygate, and he got fired.
Hey.
And now he's 0-3 on a team that everyone, some people, smart football people or person, picked them to reach the Super Bowl.
That's true.
And if they lose, they're probably out of it now at 0-3, but if they lose this, 0-4, that seat might get hot for Josh McDaniels. And then Davante, look, it's possible. Some people think I'm out over my skis. It's possible Davante Adams could play the rest of his career in relative, not total,
obscurity,
relative anonymity.
Yeah.
If they're not a good team and he's not racking up the numbers he did with Aaron Rodgers, that could happen. And I don't think he's written his ticket to the Hall of Fame yet. He's getting there, but he hadn't written it yet. So I think it was a mistake from Davante to leave.
You want to go, Coach, or am I?
Well, first of all, I thought this was players under duress. I didn't know it was coaches under duress.
No, it's the whole shebang.
It's all of the above. Which is why I should jump in, because as he said, it's about inspiration.
Yes.
And I'm going to add a player that I don't think anyone thinks right now is under duress. And this is less about inspiration for me and more predictive. Tyreek Hill.
Wow.
So Tyreek Hill was
trying to inspire-
unbelievable in the fourth quarter against Baltimore. Aside from that, it's been pretty quiet. Week 1, he had 90 yards, but no big plays. Week 3 didn't do anything. Coach made a very interesting point yesterday about trying to eliminate one of these guys, and they might go back and forth. But with Waddle dealing with an injury, and with Tyreek chirping, and I think the Bengals wanting to protect Eli Apple, my guess is they go into tonight's game and say, yeah, I don't know who's going to hurt us, but I know it's not going to be Cheetah. And I think there were a lot of us, Brew, that were concerned, or at least skeptical of, once things aren't going swimmingly, how is it going to go with Tyreek with his newfound podcast and media, all of that? We haven't seen that yet. And I think we might start seeing that starting as early as tonight when they lose and he doesn't have a big game. So I think Tyreek is one to watch because even though he seemingly has been part of the turnaround, if the turnaround then starts to reverse course a bit, those same reporters that are at his locker every day looking for the great quotes are going to be there still looking for the great quotes, and I'm curious to see how he handles it.
Well, Nick, that did sound like more of an indictment than an inspiration.
A little bit.
And knowing you, I know it was an indictment.
I like
all right?
Tyreek Hill's
You don't want him to catch a ball tonight.
No,
all right, I got to say this, though. You got to
All-time
admit
great
it. Just about everything he said, Coach, has come to pass.
That's
I
quite
don't think
early.
he said Tua's going to be better than Mahomes, but he said he's more accurate. So far,
He's more accurate?
I'm just saying. Right now, he's completed 71% of his passes. Mahomes is 68. I'm just saying.
Factual,
And I'm a Mahomes fan. You know that.
But he's facts.
But he's been right on everything. We'll see if he's right tonight.
Wow, that was a good take.
It's so funny. If you're in Kansas City, benefit of the doubt.
No,
Leave Kansas City.
That's not.
Suddenly you're mad the
that's
guy
not
has
true,
a
but
podcast.
Tyreek wasn't doing all this talking. He didn't have a podcast when he was in Kansas City. He wasn't doing all this talking. That's all I'm saying.
But coming from you, who's like, let's everybody have fun and
Yeah.
go do a million things, and now
Like I
suddenly
said,
it's
here
like
you go. No,
he's
that's
not
true.
focusing enough because
I
he
didn't
has
say
a
he's not focusing
podcast.
enough. I'm simply saying that it could come back to bite him. That's all I'm saying, but I'll let you go.
I kind of
Stop
felt like you're
attacking
simply
me.
saying he left
Attack
Kansas
Drew for his
City.
bad list. Leave me out of this.
Yeah, the under duress coaching list I don't love, but I'm actually at a player to it. I'm not Joe Burrow, and here's the main reason is when you look at his numbers this year versus last year, everything's down or up, and not up in a good way. So his completion percentage is down, his touchdown percentage is down, his interception percentage is up, and then you look at his quarterback rating, it's down 23% from what it was. Last year they start 3-1. This year they have the potential to go 1-3. But the most important part of it is the sack problems. Everybody looked at it and said, hey, they need to address this. The organization, the team, they need to protect him. He needs to protect himself, and he's just as responsible as those offensive linemen and everybody in that huddle for making sure that he makes good decisions and doesn't take unnecessary hits and unnecessary sacks. And if he does that, things will change.
Now, Coach, that was more in the spirit of the Bud list. I like that. I can see the inspiration you really pulling for Joe. And look, if we go back in time and it was a 5-man list, Burrow would have been on it. He was in strong consideration. And you're right. Look, I've said it. What's he feeling like being the hunted? Right? I think going back to LSU, he was the hunter. Nobody expected a ton from him. So he's got to own that and accept it. And I think he's going to have a great career, but we've crowned him too early. People have already crowned him. I know he got to the Super Bowl, but still, you didn't win it. You didn't win it. So I think we may have crowned him a little too early.
Yeah, I'm not into crowning people too early, but I'm going to put on the baby goat. Putting the baby goat on the Bud list. And again, well, this is deadly serious. Not actually deadly serious. I'm just being serious here. He had ligament damage, and when we saw him get injured, thought, he was going to be out 8 weeks. There was some murmurs like maybe shut him down for the year. Then all of a sudden, it's day by day. And today we got this quote from Mike Giardi. Per sources, Mac Jones is in the facility and participating in game planning. Patriots QB has told multiple teammates to not count him out this weekend's game at Green Bay, and still operating as if he has a chance. Practice scheduled 12:35. He didn't practice. But I've got to talk to Mac Jones directly. You have got a long career ahead of you.
As a backup.
The idea that you're going to go out there on one leg and have an injury that was supposed to go for 6 to 8 weeks and get out there and try to play against Green Bay is a great idea. Let's go. Do it. Willis Reed style. Limp out onto the field. And if you have to Byron Leftwich with your lineman carrying down the field, buddy, you got to go out and do it. Beat Aaron Rodgers. Upset of the century. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, you thought you were so good beating Tom Brady, the GOAT? Well, could you deal with the baby GOAT? Let's go. You can do it. Tape them up. I'm ready for it, bro. That's my serious take on it.
Again, I like the inspiration. I want to ask, like, there's no way he's playing.
I don't know why he's doing it, but
There
I
is
love it.
no way. And, Coach, would you even advise? They're going to get beat about 24-7 or 24-3.
11
Why would you limp out there to do that? Do you think this would? I know his teammates would be like,
I'm just wondering what sources are telling him. If anything, it's like, oh, yeah, let's get it out there that he might play. So then you have to continue to watch film of him as opposed to preparing for the quarterback that's actually going to play in the game. You know, any sources that you have from that area, I would take with a grain of salt, because the information you're getting is probably the information that they want you to
unless
have.
they're getting it from those outside doctors that Mac went to go see that weren't the Patriot doctors.
Yeah, I mean, you're going for a second opinion, and then suddenly you're going to be able to play. That
pretty
seems
good.
Shocking. He must have maybe.
Yeah, he found better doctors.
Is he going to be
Yeah,
out?
he
You
found
better
Well, the doctor did Kevin Durant's Achilles surgery, which was excellent.
We saw
is
the
a
whole
good
list
doctor.
of the
He's
things
a
that he
great doctor.
He is a
He's
great
one of the
doctor.
best.
Pretty good doctors.
He was the bad doctor. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.